Today, we discuss a magical airplane and no explosion marks, yet black box recordings astonishingly reveal a passenger's bathroom adventure. When the flight attendant serves water, this passenger sneaks into the cockpit, taking control. The airline, upon hearing the news, quickly dubbed the crash a terrorist attack, ensuring no one has to take the blame. After the meeting, a reporter cornered Matthew, feeling the conclusion was too casual after all. The black box had some hair-raising sounds. Labeling it as a terrorist attack seemed a bit far-fetched. Matthew knew in his heart that this conclusion wouldn't pass his scrutiny, but it wasn't something he could just spell out. The next day, the news revealed the passenger list, and the only Israeli passenger was labeled the mastermind behind the crash. Now that's a plot twist. So the boss, recognizing Matthew's abilities, promoted him to chief investigator amid staffing shortage. Suddenly, Matthew remembered that Baltok had been suspiciously silent lately. Something felt off. Baltok, the chief investigator, vanishing mysteriously at such a crucial time. That's intriguing. While Matthew was organizing reports, his thoughts drifted to Baltok until he received a call. Apparently, a passenger left a smoke message for their family before the crash. Eager for this valuable audio, Matthew rushed to find the deceased's relatives. Upon arrival, he dove right into the tragic. The messages were mostly cries about life, mixed with ambient noises. What a poignant moment. These audio clips filled gaps in the black box data. After leaving, Matthew paused again. He keenly noted that the timestamp on the message was 7:56 a.m. Something wasn't adding, but the crash report claimed the time of the incident was 7:53 a.m., so Matthew immediately reported this discrepancy to the boss. The boss shrugged it off, saying an 8-minute discrepancy was reasonable, but Matthew thought that was too casual by half. The boss speculated that it could be due to damage to the cockpit limits, thus the black box couldn't record any cockpit audio. But Matthew countered swiftly, as the emergency landing audio was quite clear. The boss claimed he couldn't make it out, yet Matthew boasted superior hearing, convinced the cockpit recording equipment was intact. There was only one explanation. Clearly, a recording had been deleted or tampered with. How suspicious. Next, Matthew went to find his wife, who was busy conducting safety certification for new aircraft smart devices. Azar, Matthew's friend and company head, was present, and the results passed. Boss with white beard couldn't be happier. The white-bearded boss head was a big shot at Adrian aircraft, happily using Azar systems. Helping with this certification was beneficial for Azar, especially with his upcoming job change. But Matthew couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. Adrian 800 had safety faults with the system. This could have led to the crash, yet he had no solid evidence, and with his wife's promotion opportunity on the table, he couldn't sabotage her future. Despite his initial reservedness, with his wife's introduction, Matthew politely acknowledged the bearded boss. As everyone cheered for his wife's promotion, Matthew left the hangar with his thoughts weighing heavily on him. He discovered the wreck of the Adrian 800, checked the passenger list, and found the location of that infamous Israeli passenger. Combining the black box data and the voicemail, Matthew reenacted the scene in the cockpit. Based on the full-time, footsteps, and cabin crew chatter, Matthew concluded that the Israeli passenger never even made it to the cockpit. Back to reality, Matthew found the boss and shared his thoughts, only for the boss to advise him not to read too much into it. The conclusion was already set. Such continued investigation wouldn't do the airline any good, leaving Matthew with no choice but to head home in dismay. He was sure there was something wrong with the black box, but he couldn't pinpoint the issue. Baltok, the previous chief investigator, first handled the black box, leaving an utterly baffling mystery. Matthew arrived at his workstation, hoping to find some clues. While flipping through, he discovered a sticky note with a username and password, quickly snapping a photo before hurrying to Baltok's place. Naturally, his side door didn't react, but since he was there, he had to go in. Matthew swiftly hopped over Baltok's small yard, glancing around to see it apparently uninhabited. He hesitated for a moment before smashing the window, but once inside, he began searching for clues. Turns out there was a secret room in Baltok's house. He walked in and turned on the light, finding not much inside, but in the very last room, he discovered a brand new black box, plus an audio reading device in their tablet. Matthew suddenly recalled the username and password he had snapped earlier. However, the tablet's folders were empty, no useful clues. Matthew decided to step outside when suddenly he remembered Baltok's car had a camera. The car had parked outside the company just a day before he disappeared, so as long as there was a recording, Matthew could trace where Baltok had gone. After acquiring the memory card, Matthew spent the night meticulously reviewing the footage, and most of it was just regular driving records. However, there was one clip showing Baldock hesitating before getting out of the car. Then came the video from September 30, just a week before the crash. The camera captured him meeting someone that evening, none other than Asa, someone Matthew was quite familiar with. Asa was a specialist in crafting automated piloting software for aircraft. Now that sounded sketchy. Consulting previous data, Matthew discovered 3 minor incidents over the past 6 months, all stemming from defective autopilot systems. Yet no one had ever taken this seriously, which made Matthew wonder if the Adrian 800 had similar issues hiding in plain sight. If you want to uncover more behind-the-scenes tales of this mysterious case, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.